Hey, welcome to the Who's Left podcast, a show about Indiana politics, history, and culture from the unapologetic perspective of the social democratic left. My name is Scott Aaron Rogers. I am live in Bloomington, and tonight I've got a special guest joining me from up in Indianapolis, in Marion County. Um, there are three strong women running to be Marion County Democratic Party chair, including the incumbent Myla Eldridge. We've also got public speaker and media personality Dana Black. And finally, my guest this evening is Pike Township Trustee Annette Johnson. And there she is.
I know
Annette,
it's a little dark, but I'm going to get someplace where you can see me in like 2 minutes.
that's all right. Well, we're glad to have you. And Annette's driving right now, and she will be home momentarily. So give her some grace as she is on her way home from a constituent meeting tonight. Is that correct?
Yes, we had a Lawrence Township Democrat Club meeting, and the candidates were allowed to speak.
Where was everybody there?
Not no, not everybody, but me and the incumbent was there, but the other candidate wasn't. But we had candidates running for treasurer, vice chair, and secretary.
Yeah, I understand Dana was doing another podcast tonight, and well, actually, Dana, who I respect tremendously, I love everything she does, but she does have her own media platform. So I figured,
Mhm.
I'll lend mine to
Right.
you so we can get your word out here and hear what you have to say.
Sounds good to me.
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your education, maybe a little bit about your career?
Well, I've been very blessed to have two careers. I am currently the elected official here in Pike Township. I serve as the trustee of Pike Township, and so now you can see me. This is better. Yes,
Hey, there we are, safe and sound at home.
yes. So I serve as the trustee in Pike Township. I'm on my second 4-year term in that particular capacity. I served previously as an elected official, serving on the advisory board for the Pike Township trustee area. So that's where I got my start from, serving on the township board and making it work for me. My full-time career before that was an educator. I was employed with IPS, Indianapolis Public School System,
Hmm.
for 14 years. And of course, once I won the election, I had to retire from that. But I am currently a professor at Martin University here in Indianapolis and Ivy Tech State College as well. So I teach currently this semester. I'm teaching two courses at each university. So I'm trying to work that, but it's going really good. So again, I've
What's your
been very
subject
blessed.
area? What do you teach?
I teach sociology over at Martin University, and I teach incoming freshmen success prep over at Ivy Tech, getting those income
Hmm.
freshmen on the right pathway so that they do not drop out. Data shows a lot of the freshmen, their first semester, their first year, for some reason, they drop out, and so we want to make sure we
Yeah,
retain those. So I'm working in that particular area.
Ivy Tech is a great institution that just does not
Hmm.
get enough love as what a gem it is in the state, and that program in particular is really important. And just thank you for your work in that department.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, well, now you said you started in politics first as an advisor to the township board. Is that correct?
Uh-huh. Yes.
When was that?
Yes. That was from let me see, 2005 to 2018, up until when I ran for so I served on that board for see what 12, 14 years. Kind
Wow,
of
yeah.
sitting there, and I was more of a youngster then, so kind of learning the ropes. And then in 2018, I decided to run for trustee. I've been sitting in the seat, watching and learning all of the ins and out of a trustee. And I said, you know what? What had happened was I was working down at the Department of Education with
Mm-hmm.
Glenda Ritz. We won that election for the first time in 40 years. And unfortunately, once we won that office, the governor, Holcomb at that time, made it a
Mm-hmm.
point to make sure that those positions are now appointed, not an elected seat, because we won that seat after 40 years. And so once that particular 4 years ended, I found myself without a job, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run for trustee, and that's what I did.
Am I correct? Now, this doesn't have anything to do with your run for chair or anything, but did I see that the state Republicans are trying to eliminate the township positions like trustees and the boards and stuff?
No, I mean, there's talk of some of the townships trying to come together to merge, but those are those
Mm,
small counties that only have trustees office that's open, like say there's 5 trustees in that particular county and they're only open 2 days a week. They're trying to figure out maybe we can just kind of consolidate those. But in your larger counties, like Marion, Hendricks, Hamilton, and all
yeah.
those, boom, this you're just not gonna be able to do that. But I think there's also talk of township boards, but again, Marion County is the only county that has a board of 7 members. Everyone else has 3 or 5. So that may
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
something they may visit, you know. But again, it would be just Marion County because we're the only ones holding on to 7 township board members.
Well, and you got a lot more people in Marion County than just about anywhere else in the state, so that makes
Exactly.
sense. More people need more service.
Yep.
So, well, what convinced you to throw your hat in the ring for chair this year?
Well, I think what happened was after that November 5th election, I was pretty
Mm-hmm.
down and I'd been out there, I mean, working tremendously hard. Um, Out there for candidates. I was a um, one of the individuals that was able to be a representative at the uh, national convention, and
Oh,
so
neat.
I was there for 6 or 7 days in an atmosphere that was just amazing. Rooting for Kamala Harris, just knew we were going to win, and putting all our eggs in that basket. And
Yeah.
then November 5th came, and I mean, I worked from sun up to sundown for, all year for this to happen and to have this big letdown. I just was pretty upset, angry, in tears. And I went through that for about 2 days. And then I somehow said, you know what, Annette, you gotta shake it off. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run for the chair. I looked at our data. It said that we had our general election was 55% lowest in the recent years. Other data showed that we only had 48% of our precinct committee positions they're vacant. And I'm like, how can that be when the job of the chair is to appoint these vacancies? I mean, if you get to appoint people and get people engaged and running, how
Yeah.
hard can that be? And so after meeting in November, I met with a group, progressive Democrats, because when I was at the convention, as a delegate, that's what I was, a delegate. I met a lot of progressive Democrat leaders, a lot of national elected officials that are progressive Democrats, such as myself. And they charged us with going back to our communities and doing something about it, fight. And so I met with my progressive group here in Indianapolis. We met in November. I kid you not, the next week we met on a Sunday at a church. Church opened up the door so we can have this free space as long as we want. And we
Yeah.
met in November. We met in December. We met in January. And then when January got here, we doing our research about the chair, everyone's like, Annette, you need to run for chair. And that's where this came out of. A small group of individuals that has been growing and growing and growing. And now, there it is. I signed my name on the dotted line, and this is where I am.
So it sounds like, and you were very tactful and polite about it, but you have some maybe suggesting that the incumbent has dropped the ball in some respects, in not filling these positions,
Mhm.
in maybe not. Marion County's voter turnout was not good this past
Mhm.
November, so maybe not
Mhm.
doing enough in that department. Um, can you maybe talk about the incumbent? Maybe some things she's not done great. You've mentioned a couple. Maybe also talk a bit about some things that Ms. Eldridge has done well.
Um, I think she's a leader that's able to position herself, to be successful. I just think that she has not done a great job with bringing individuals into the fold alongside her to help. I think that is to me, one of her biggest my concerns with her. A lot of times when you get in these positions, you do a lot of gatekeeping where you want to keep
Mm,
individuals out. But as we've had these past elections, individuals are, fighting and wanting to be involved and engaged. And I think she hasn't done a good job of bringing those individuals, to the forefront to help her, come alongside her and help. And so I want to be a very open chair. I feel like the Democratic Party is a big tent. It means everybody is included and everyone should have a role. And those are the areas that I see that need improvement. And that's where I want to come in and do that in those areas. Again, I don't understand the PC issue. How can we not
yeah.
have these positions? They're just sitting there vacant. And the PCs are I call them the worker bees. Now, are they worker bees right now? A lot of them are not worker bees, but I want to bring some worker bees to the party so that they can work and do the work that's needed so that we can move the needle. We need to move the needle in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, even a little bit of work's better than no work, right?
Is that so? As much energy as I have, I'm hoping individuals will see all that energy and mimic me, and hopefully, I could be someone that is, a role model, and they will jump on board as well.
You said a word that I've been talking about with some people lately, vis-a-vis the state party, and the state party and the Indianapolis party are very much intertwined.
Mhm.
But you said the word gatekeeping,
Mhm.
and that's a problem that we seem to have. Like I said, in your county, at the
Mhm.
state level, maybe in some of these different districts. Um, can you talk about the Democratic Indianapolis machine,
Mhm.
and how they maybe aren't bringing a diverse group into the fold, and it's very insular and kind of a good old boys and girls network, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was part of the machine. I mean, back in the day, I lived those days where I would be out there working, being a precinct committee person and passing out the literature. And we were focused on individuals that the party had already deemed to represent us.
Mm,
And so I saw that firsthand for, many years. And that's where I pretty much a light bulb went off in my head to say, no more gatekeeping. Individuals who want to run for office should be able to run. The individuals that are in the office, these are not their permanent seats. Them staying in office, 16, 20, 24 years is unacceptable if you're not doing anything. And so
right.
a lot of the gatekeeping activities was happening. And again, you have a progressive Democrat such as myself that comes along and says, we got to do better. And I'm one of the ones that is really responsible for not having slating anymore. I did something that hadn't been done in 30 years. The last person that did that was Julia Carson. She busted the slate open. And so no
Yeah.
one had done that because what you just shared, the party had a machine in process
Mhm.
for the last 30 years. And that machine pretty much selected those individuals. They put all their money, their time, and energy behind those candidates. And you had to pay to play. And if you wasn't able to pay the tremendous amounts of money, then you could not run for office.
And so, as it is, if you're paying to play, that means you got to be able to raise a lot of money. And if you're raising a lot of money, maybe you got to compromise your values, get into bed with people maybe you wouldn't get into bed with. Maybe you do the work of developers and charter schools and whoever else is filling them campaign coffers, right?
Or you sign over 10% of your earnings. If you're successful and you win, then say your salary is $90,000 a year or 80, you owe the party $8,000 and you pay that 8,000 or 9,000 off. I
Mm,
mean,
I was not
yeah.
aware of that. Is that official, or is that kind of like, we're gonna just shake you down in the parking lot afterwards and not tell anybody about
um I mean
it?
that's I mean, you brought up a good point. A lot of people didn't have that kind of money to pay to play. But if you are successful and you win, then we need our money. And you just would pay them back from your salary. So yeah.
Eh, I mean, I, in a way, I guess I see, like, if you do win and you are successful, it is then incumbent upon you to, like, help the party and do the work and kind of bring everybody else along, which that's fine, that's acceptable, right? But if it's just
Mhm.
like, well, you owe us a chunk of change.
Well, I mean
Well,
that's
what's
what
going
that's
on with it? What's that change go to?
well, the change went inside of the party. And it's funny that we're talking about that because um my opponent, that's exactly what she shared tonight. That particular money, because she talks about how we don't have slating anymore, and because we don't have slating because of Annette Johnson, we don't have any money like we used to. Because think about all the elected officials. If you have about 60 to 70, 80, 120 something individuals running, and they all were you had to pay a slating fee, which was 10% of your earnings. So depending on what, and I know this for a fact, I was on the township board, and we only made 5,000 a year from the township board,
Mhm.
but I had to pay 10% of that to the party. So which would have been $500. But again, you got 9 townships, 9 times 7, think about that, times 500, there's your money right there. There's a whole tier,
Yeah.
because there are different tiers, levels of money that were, had to be given to the party. So that was the township board responsibility. And it could vary. Some township boards made 8,000 a year, or, so it may be a little bit more, it may be $800. But just imagine, if you got 7 township board members times 9, that's 63 people, and you multiply that 63 times about $600. That's almost $40,000 just from that one tier of people. That could pay
Mm.
somebody's salary a year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And again, the party needs money to run,
Yeah, it
but
does.
what are we doing with that money? What is it buying us, right?
But
Right now it's buying us not very great turnout, and maybe uh constituents aren't terribly happy with the mayor. Certainly, I don't know, I can't speak to the rest of the elected officials in the county, but I know Mayor Hogg set up there is, not exactly a world beater.
mhm,
People aren't terribly happy with his performance currently. Yet,
yeah.
this he's on his third term, right? Like, because he raises a lot of money.
Right, and we don't have anybody that's going to challenge, a mayor. You're just not equipped to do that. And like you said, if you have no money, and then you're gatekeeping, and the party's not going to support you anyway, why would you throw your hat in the ring?
Uh who really runs the Marion County Democratic Party? Is it the people from below? Is it the PCs putting their people in where they want them, or is it just like an extension of the state party and the state central committee and kind of the Indianapolis donor class right now?
I would think it'd be the donor class. Again, from just learning and being involved in politics, with anybody's party, or when you have different, like we have Marion County.
Hmm.
It's always been who are the highest ranking elected officials. That's where you take really your directives from. Right now, our highest ranking officials is Congressman Andre Carson and the mayor.
Hmm.
So those two pretty much are I would say, the overall
Yeah.
extension of the leadership. Now, a couple of years back, we had three, which was we were getting powerful when we had Joe Donnelly, but unfortunately, Joe
Mm,
Donnelly wasn't able to win. So we were doing good around that time because we had Andre as a leader, we had Joe Donnelly, and they all were able to raise money, and then you had the mayor.
yeah.
But right now, we just have the mayor and Andre Carson, because that's our two highest ranking elected officials for us.
And are they bringing people up next to them? Are they bringing people up with them, or is it just here I am, I'm here, send me back to office because that's like we're blue here. Like you're not going to vote for the
Yeah,
Republican, you got me.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah. I mean, Andre's in a good spot, so
yeah,
he's able to just say, if this is where I want to be at for the next part of my lifetime, I'll be there. I mean, that's where he's been at for what? He's been there for what? Many, many years
14,
already.
14. Yeah, is this the seventh term? It's been a minute.
Yep, 7 times 4. Yep, yep. I mean, I think he was 2008 when he ran. So yeah, and I mean, same with the mayor. He's on
Yeah.
third 4-year term, so that'd be 12 years. And I think he'll be the only one that's done that, because in the past it's been, since I think no, it wouldn't have been Peterson, it would have been Hudnut, because most of them do 4-year
Yeah.
terms, and that. So he is making a little history there.
I also believe he ran on term limits his first term, and he's gone back on that. But like
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I'm not a term limit guy. Like if you're doing well and your constituents
Mm-hmm.
want to really keep sending you back, and like
Mm-hmm.
districts are fair and everything's
Mm-hmm.
fair, that's great. The problem with the incumbency is that they just draw
Right.
themselves into same districts, and
Yeah.
yeah. So man, all my good questions have already come up. We're like on the same wavelength in that. So, well, tell me about a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
the city council
Mm-hmm.
voted to expel a friend of mine, Jesse Brown, friend of the pod,
Oh yeah, friend of mine
from
too.
from the
Yes.
from the Democratic caucus.
Mm-hmm.
For putting some of his colleagues on blast for not supporting public schools. Um, do you think they made the right decision to do that, or nah?
No, no, I don't think you should ever. We're on the same team. Expel one of your own. Seriously, Um, I am 100% against charter schools. I taught in IPS for 14 years. I been on the front row with my signs screaming no to charter schools. I helped get a individual voted in Pike Township by endorsing him, and to a month after that, he turned on us. So those are issues that Jesse Brown has been fighting for. I'm right there in the trenches with him. Um, and even when they did the committee hearing to remove him from his committees, I was right there front and center on the news. Um, just saying, I'm here in support of Jesse. I don't think it's fair. I mean, you've already went a step further by kicking him out of the
Hmm.
caucus. Now you're going to remove him for the committees. The good thing is it didn't happen. So he's still on those committees. But we were all down there. I mean, they said be down at 4 o'clock at the City County building. I don't think they were expecting the multitude of people that came, and it took them off guard, and so they had to say we got to bring this to a halt right now. So
Yeah,
no, I
see, and
don't
then
believe him.
that's real grassroots. Like his constituents are there for him because they believe he is fighting for them. I Do you think any of those others city councilors could get that kind of turnout for something
No,
they
and
that get?
no, and I see that, hopefully Jesse and others have taken that play out of my playbook, because that's exactly that was my campaign slogan, fighting for the people of Pike Township. When I ran the first time, went against the mayor, and I beat a 16-year incumbent. And so my constituents in Pike Township fight for me because I fight for them every day. And then even when I ran for reelection and the party did not endorse me, my constituents came out and we kicked butt again. So
Yeah, yeah.
your constituents are your base, and I work hard with them, even when they were trying to take the fire department from our township. My constituents came out, they wrote letters, they signed petitions that I put together, and they even came down to the State House and testified on the bill. So my constituents are very strong. That's what they believe in. And I think what works for this, and probably with Jesse, because we welcome them to come
Yes.
alongside us, and that's what you have to do. You
It's
welcome.
democracy. It's bottom up.
That's what I
Yes.
that's what I said tonight. It's democracy. I have a right to run for office. No one's trying to piss anybody off and cause division, because I'm been accused of dividing the party. And I'm like, how I'm not dividing the party. I'm trying to bring the party, back to the center so we can move the needle. And so again, your constituents are going to fight for you, and those voters vote for me, and we did a tremendous job. We did the upset the first year, and the party wanted to circle back around and make sure I didn't get a second term, but they were unsuccessful. And then after that, that's when slating was done away with.
It's so gross that
It's very gross.
yeah, that you even had to go through all that. If the
Yeah, yes.
incumbents and the establishment are not getting the job done for the people, it is incumbent upon us to challenge them, right?
Well,
The loyalty has to be not to the party. I mean,
mhm.
yes, we want to be like good party players and good team members and, want to be loyal to the party, but like our values should come first. And if the party is betraying your values,
Mhm.
then you got to challenge the party.
Well, I mean, again, you know, I went through that. It was very disheartening for me to deal with that, as I proved myself as a leader, because again I beat the 4 year and 16-year incumbent, and then for me to fast forward the next 4 years and go to the party for support, only for them to say, we still got a bone to pick with you.
Mhm.
You caused too many problems for us. You got people engaged and people are using their voices. I'm thought that's what you want, correct? And so when I
Well, not
did
like
not get,
that.
yeah, right. And so I didn't get the endorsement, and I was just very bummed out. But my first race, when I beat the 16-year incumbent, I won by 300 votes, and my goal was to win by 100, because I know if you get 100, no, they're not gonna challenge it, do a
Yeah.
recount. So I said, my whole message was we win by 100, guys. That's all I care about. Well, we were excited because we won by 300 votes. And we're like, really? That is awesome. And then fast forward to the next 4 years, I said, we got to get more than 300. We ended up getting 1,000 plus more votes than the other person that the party
Oh
put up
man,
against.
you're
So it's a
running up the
very,
score
very,
now.
oh my God, it was a wonderful. 1,000 plus votes. I mean, it's like we just blew that particular individual out the box. But again, it's the voters. And again, I was very disappointed in the party because my first 4 years as trustee, I came in and turned that trustee's office around, worked with the fire department to get it up to standard because
Hmm.
the legislators came to me, they were very nice about it. It's like, Annette, the reason why we keep picking on your fire department, because your fire department does not look like a fire department. And I was like, well, what do you mean? They're like, you don't even have a lot of firefighters. You haven't hired anyone in the last 4 years. And I was like, but I wasn't there then. And they're like, if you want, us to start, look at you guys, let's see what you can do. So in 4 years, I turned it around. I had a recruitment class for 4 years straight for hiring, that so forth. And I ended up winning trustee of the year out of 1,005 trustees. My
Oh
peers
wow.
voted me trustee of the year. I mean, it was amazing. And so I brought all that to the party. I'm like, I built the fire department. I've got the commitment from the fire department. They support me 100%. I'm making us look good because your little old trustee in Marion County won um, trustee of the year. And they just like, so what? And so that's where my disappointment of the party, and that's where I am now. I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to take over and do some more things even on a bigger scale.
Okay, so like, look, you checked all my boxes, like the things I had written down. I was going to talk about, like you already covered them. So like, look, I'm gonna let you cook. Um, let's spend the rest of the time talking about your vision for the Marion County Democrats,
Okay.
how you would like you took around your little township, like you took that fire department, you turned it around. How are you going to turn around this thing, which is not living up to the standard it should?
I mean, such a great question to go right into this segment because I have put together a team. Like I spoke tonight, I don't call it a slate. This is a team of individuals that have came on board with me to help us to work to hopefully win. And our slogan is Turn Out Indy. So I don't know how you knew that. It's Turn Out Indy. So that is what I want to do. That's my main focus. If we are one of the lowest, cities across the country,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that we focus on turning out Indy. And so, use like, how do I do that? I have 4 T's that I'm working on. I want to transform. That means energize, restructure the Democratic Party. And I want to do that from the ground up and make it a really true grassroots movement. And that movement serves everyone in their communities. So that's number one, transform. Number two, train. I think that it's important that we develop and implement training programs for our PCs. Maybe that's why we are 48%, vacant. Maybe we don't train them. Maybe we can't retain them. They don't want to be a PC. But I think if we offer them some type of training program, give them a certificate of completion, you're now the precinct committee person. I want to focus on electing the PCs, not appointing them. Now, of course, there will be times when you do have to appoint, but I'm focusing on doing elected PCs. So I want to have the highest number that there's ever been in the Democratic Party. I mean, it would be fantastic if I could, go through the 9 township and just sweep it with putting elected PCs. So the ballot that I'm thinking about, the ballot is going to be so huge. I mean, a ballot now is like front and back. My
Mm-hmm.
ballot is going to be about 5 pages long because I'm going to have so many people running for PC. I know it's kind of wild, but I have this type of vision. And so, again, transform, train. Number three, talent. Where do I find these people? I have to go into the communities and recruit. And I got to promote the message of, progressive grassroots types of campaign. And so that's what I want to do. I want to go out in the trenches. I want to, you know, I've noticed a trend the last couple of years. We got these young city councilors. Well, I want to talk to them. You ran for office in one, so who are your friends? They may want to run for PCs, and so I want to work on going out finding the talent there. And then my last one is transparency. I'm really big on this,
Yes.
being very transparent. That means I'm gonna have to communicate, regularly with the Marion County team, the Democrats, the grassroots people, our precinct of people. Do it where I have virtual call-ins, once a month. Have update our website. If you go to our website right now, and not saying anything, someone said this tonight. They said the website is trash. If that you can't you hit a link, nothing happens. So I want us to have a really working
And
website.
that's your front porch to the whole world.
Yes, it is. And so, yes, I want to, again, work on being very transparent, um, having elections that individuals can participate in. Like I said, we have this, you know, county election on Saturday, the first, and it's not open to people, to the public, to even come and see what we're doing. I mean,
Hmm.
what are we hiding? And so I want to really be big on transparency for what's happening in our communities. The website, again, lists the activities that we're doing, but we have to update our website and make it attractive so people will like to go and look at it. So those are the four: transform, train, talent, transparency. So that's what I'm running on.
I love it. I love that you got a slogan, you got the four T's. It's concise. It's compelling. That's good. Do you guys like have regular party get-togethers now? Is that a thing you
No,
do?
and I want to, that'll be one of the, doing meet and greets, doing fundraisers, because when you have gatherings, I will not be afraid to ask for donations to the party. I think there would be an opportunity where people make, I don't care if we only raise 200 or we raise 2,000, we've raised something. And so I want to do some
It all helps.
quarterly
Yeah.
get-togethers. The goal would be to do 4 a year, for sure, 4 a year, because every 4 months we have some type of activity going on where individuals are coming together at PCs and so forth.
Yeah. Um. Oh, I know a thing I wanted to ask. So as hypothetically, let's say you win this thing Saturday. As a county party chair, you would get a vote for the in your case, the 7th district uh
Mhm,
party, the
mhm,
officers, chair, vice chair, and
mhm.
whatnot. Do you have anybody in mind for that position? And going further, the following week, who you would like that person to vote for state chair?
Well, I think for the state chair, the chairperson has 2 votes, if I'm not mistaken. So this question has came up. I would love to see who are the choices of the individuals. As far as with who's running, I'm leaning toward Destiny Wells. I like her. I like her energy. I like what she stands for. Out here, engaging and working with our younger group. So I'm leaning towards that. And then as far as the on the next level where I have 2 votes, I haven't decided on that because I really want to know what my options are.
Okay, yeah. Is there anybody like putting out feelers for 7th district chair yet or anything, or is that kind of like, oh well, we'll see how this Saturday goes?
We'll see how this Saturday goes.
Okay, all right. So what else you got on your mind there, Annette? What haven't I hit on tonight that you really want to talk about?
Well, just out here in the community and talking about running for this. I mean, I have so many PCs that came up to me and they say they don't feel supported by the party. They're not given the information they need to make phone calls. And when they do get it, it's like 2 to 3 weeks before the election. And they're like,
Mm,
they don't like that because you're missing the window opportunity of absentee ballot voting where you're
oh
doing
yeah.
that almost 2 months prior to that. So they're like, it would be nice if I had that information because I can use me as an example. I do a lot of absentee ballot voting in Pike Township, but I go to the senior living homes and the retirement homes. So what's the point of me dropping off the information when by the time we get the other piece of information, the election has already taken place. So I want to work on that too.
Yeah, you got to have that follow up, and really just a whole
Mhm.
operation. It sounds like needs tightened up. It's just kind of. Uh, is that an issue of like the people there have too much on their plate? Are they trying to juggle too much at once? You think?
I just think we don't have any individuals working in the office area where to
Hmm.
me, you would need someone in the office handling those day-to-day things that need to be handled.
Is the chairs? It is not a paid position, right? It's not like it is a volunteer job, correct?
It's not paid, but I'm sure there's stipends and things. Again, we go to the convention, your delegate, your airfare, those types of things are taken care of. I mean, we just
Hmm.
had our chair go to the big meeting for all across the country, when they picked the person. I mean, that was in DC. So, I mean, there are
Yeah. Oh yeah.
opportunities
Yeah.
for you to do a lot of traveling, go meet a lot of other people. I mean, I just think it's a good platform, for individuals to use as they move forward into something else in their positions, maybe.
Yeah, well, because I wonder because it sounds like it definitely sound the chair or somebody just needs to be present and conducting things like at all time. It needs to be a full time job,
Mm-hmm.
although unfortunately that is an uncompensated full time job.
Right. And like I said, to me, if you're able to receive a stipend, then I think you should be more than comfortable with that. Because to me, that's pretty accommodating. That's how I look at it. I don't need to be making 5 or 6 figures, because it's not what I'm there for.
Yeah. I see. So let's start to sort of wind this thing down. It's getting late in the evening, and I want to let you.
Mhm.
You've been running around all day long. I want to let you get some rest.
Oh no, it never ends. Never ends.
So, do you have some like closing thoughts for us tonight? Like your vision you talked about your four T's. Just give us kind of the final pitch why Annette Johnson should be the next Marion County Democratic Party chair.
I think if we're all in a slump and we're watching what's going on, with our country across, our state across the country, and we want to do something about it, and we're not pleased with the current leadership, I think I would be a clear choice for you to consider that. And we have to keep in mind that the only people voting at this particular convention on Saturday is PCs and vice PC people. And so
Hmm.
those individuals are very important, such as this election. And I want to treat them like they're something, not at the bottom of the chart for the party, but the PCs have a lot of power. And so I want to make sure that they are recognized in that area. But I just think it's important that I mean, it would be amazing if we were able to turn out Indy. I think that would really spark other individuals' interest in politics and paying attention to what's going on. And so I just think it's important, that we turn out. We can turn out Indy. I don't see why we can't. And then as we come, I summarize, I just want to transform, train, seek talent, and be transparent about the office itself. And so I want to make sure that individuals are able to get the necessary information they need. Maybe work on, if you're a registered, Democrat and you vote, it'd be nice to have some type of little card in your wallet, like a voter carrying card, just something to make individuals know that you're a precinct committee person and we appreciate you and you're out there working. So I want to just focus on those four things and see if I can bring again some restructure to the party and
Yeah.
move the needle. We can't just sit around and we're not doing anything. We haven't moved the needle. I mean, that's depressing right there. So yeah, I just want to be a leader that's out there in the community, that's engaged, has some innovative thoughts and things that we can do differently. But at the same time, we're working together to, move our particular, state forward.
Yeah. So I'm hearing like you're going to take those four T's, those four little T's, transform, train,
Mm-hmm.
talent, and transparency, and turn them into the one big T of turnout.
Turnout Indy. That's the whole plan. Because if we can get individuals to turn out, we can win some of these, races that we just a tad off from it. We just
Hmm.
need a little more push on it. And so, having individuals, I just noticed from meeting since November, we met once a month. Every Sunday, the group is growing and it's growing and it's growing. And just for it to
Oh,
start
it's good
so
to see.
small and now to see it growing, that's what we want. And those particular voters, they're already set up and ready to vote in the next election cycle. And so that's what I want to use it. Filter them out, bring the new young people in so they can register to vote and participate in the voting process.
And I'll tell you what, the rest of us Democrats and people on the left here in Indiana are counting on you. Like from all across the state. I'm here in Bloomington, but Gary, South Bend, Fort Wayne, Evansville, Terre Haute, they all are counting on Marion County and Indianapolis to turn out that Democratic
Yeah,
vote in these
yeah,
like
yeah,
statewide elections,
yeah,
especially.
yeah.
And so we need
Yeah.
you, and we need good leadership in Indianapolis. City, county,
Hmm.
district. We need Indianapolis Democrats to be strong because I do think that helps the whole state in general.
I think so. I mean, they're pretty much, people like to say, well, Marion County is holding everybody up. Well, I was saying this last election cycle, we did not hold anybody up. We didn't do it. And so we got
Might have
to,
held us back. Yeah.
yeah, we got to change that narrative. And that's what, again, I want to bring to the party. Just innovative leadership style, talking with individuals, being down in the grassroots with them and not hiding behind the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Out in the community, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, out from outside the ivory tower, in there,
Hmm.
hands dirty, getting it
Yes,
done with people.
exactly.
Love it. All
Yeah.
right. Well, Annette, thank you so much for being here tonight, for joining me. I really appreciate it. It sounds like you've got a vision, you got a plan for the
Hmm.
county, and it's just it's good to see some fresh blood, some fresh leadership coming up, and I wish you all the best on Saturday.
And I hope, Saturday I'm victorious and I'll be able to come back on your show and share more with you.
I would love that. I would look forward to that very much.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope individuals that were listening were able to, get some good things from me and get a little more understanding of, what I'm trying to do and the race that's upon us as well. But again, we need us Democrats to stick together and we need to get out and
Mhm.
vote.
Yeah. Absolutely. We all got to push that rock, because say what you will about the divisions within our
Mhm,
big tent, but I
mhm.
think with the precarity of the moment, like, I think we know we all need to band together.
Yes, I think so too. I agree.
All right. Well, um, Annette Johnson, Pike Township Trustee, hopeful for Marion County Democratic Chair.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for joining the Who's Left podcast here tonight.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. See you soon.
All
Talk to
right.
you soon. All right.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. That was Annette Johnson, once again, the Pike Township Trustee Chair up there in Marion County and hopeful for party chair up there. Get involved Saturday if you are a Democratic precinct committee or vice committee person. You need to be at your reorg meeting in your county and pressure your county chair, once elected, to vote values for the district chair and for the state chair the following weekend. This thing is on us, right? The party is a shell. It is the people in it who drive it. And if we and other like-minded people put good people in positions of leadership, we will all benefit. I'm going to let y'all go for the night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Until next time, my name is Scott Aaron Rogers, and this has been the Who's Left podcast. Love each other, Indiana.